Good morning, everybody. Happy Friday. Hope everyone's doing well. Today, we're going to be talking about constant airspeed climbs and descents. So, like I said, what we're going over is the constant airspeed straight climb, the constant airspeed climbing turns, constant airspeed straight descents, constant airspeed turning descents, common errors, as well as the ACS requirements. So, why do we do this? Aircraft-specific speeds are published for performance as well as safety reasons. In order to obtain this performance and remain safe, a constant airspeed must be able to be maintained. So now it's time to learn. We'll talk about the constant airspeed straight climb first, with the Boeing 767 moving from right to left. First, what you're going to want to do is you're just going to add power, pitch attitude and then adjust your pitch attitude desired for the airspeed and accept the resulting rate of climb, because you're not looking for a rate of climb, you're looking for an airspeed, so that your rate of climb will vary. Your attitude indicator will be your primary instrument once established in the climb. For your corrections, you're going to pitch for your airspeed, and how you're really going to enter it is you're going to raise the mini aircraft to an approximate nose high indication for a desired climb speed. Then you're going to advance the power to the climb setting. In our Skyhawk, we usually use full power. Moving on, we'll talk about the partial panel entry. Slow the airplane down to climb speed, then apply climb power. Use your altimeter, vertical speed indicator, airspeed indicator, in place of the attitude indicator, and then use smooth, gradual inputs. For stabilized climb, once you stabilize at your airspeed, use your airspeed indicator for your primary pitch and then your heading indicator for bank. And once you're ready to level off, lead the altitude by 10% of the vertical speed, and then apply smooth forward pressure on the yoke. Remember, trim off the control pressures. Trim will be your best friend during all constant speed climbs and descents. All right, now we got the American 777 doing our constant airspeed climbing turn. And we will combine basically the straight climbs with the turn techniques that we've learned from previous presentations. Roll out of the turn as necessary for the desired heading, and then the rate of cross-check and interpretation must increase to enable bank and control pitches. So you're not only looking for like your standard rate turn, but you're also looking for your airspeed as well. So you're looking at more things instead of just one thing. And now we'll talk about the constant airspeed descents with the Gulfstream. All right, how you're going to enter this is you're going to reduce the airspeed to the selected descent airspeed while maintaining straight and level flight. Reduce your power further and simultaneously lower the nose to maintain a constant airspeed, and then trim. Lower the nose approximately to the attitude to provide the descent speed. If you're going to do this partial panel, you're going to slow the airplane down to the descent airspeed, apply necessary power setting, and without an attitude indicator, once again you use the altimeter, the VSI airspeed indicator in place of it to make your pitch changes. Because none of these are direct pitch, it is very important to make your smooth and gradual control inputs like we said before, and the rate of movement of the altimeter also gives an indirect pitch info. Keeping on with the constant airspeed straight descents. For stabilized descent, any deviation from the desired airspeed requires a pitch adjustment, and power should remain constant, like I said before. Pitch controls airspeed. For leveling off, level off must be started before reaching the desired altitude. To level off at an airspeed above the descent airspeed, lead off by 100 to 150 feet. And to level off at your descent airspeed, lead it off by approximately 50 feet. At the lead point, you're going to add a power and to approximate level flight cruise, and then simultaneously pitching up, adding power to a setting that will hold the airspeed. And once again, here we go, trim off the pressure. If you trim the airplane will fly itself. Trim is your best friend at this point. Constant airspeed turning descents with the classic US Airways 757, one of my favorite airplanes in my favorite livery. Okay, so for climbing turns, combine once again your straight descents with the turning techniques. Roll out on the heading as necessary to attain the desired heading on the magnetic compass, and just make sure to remember taking into account your turning errors as well if you're using your magnetic compass. The rate of cross-check and interpretation, once again, it increases to enable bank control and pitch changes. So, Just some key points that we're gonna that we're looking at here is establish, trim, cross-check, and adjust. Like we said, we're gonna establish a pitch and an airspeed, trim it out for the airplane to hold it, cross-check to make sure that everything is doing what it should be doing, and then adjust as needed if it's turbulent um, or whatever. Get it adjusted and trim it out again. Like I said, trim is your best friend at this point. I don't care who your best friend is right now. They are nowhere near as important as the trim wheel in our Skyhawk or in our Piper Seminole. That wheel right there is more important than the wheels in your car or any other wheel in the world. I think that trim wheel is really important because that'll save your butt. Also, if you lose your elevator controls in an emergency, and then scan, scan, and scan some more. Keep on scanning your instruments, making sure that everything um, is doing what you want it to do, especially if you're in IMC conditions or under the hood. Scanning is the most important thing you can do. Some common errors you'll see with this is failure to use proper power setting, pitch attitude, improper corrections of vertical speed, airspeed heading or rate of turn errors, uncoordinated use of flight controls, and improper trim control. And for your ACS requirements, you want to maintain your altitude plus or minus 100 feet during level flight, selected headings plus or minus 10 degrees, airspeeds plus or minus 10 knots, and bank angle plus or minus 5 degrees on turns, but also improper instrument cross-check and interpretation apply the appropriate pitch, bank, power, and trim corrections when applicable. All right, y'all. I hope you guys have a great rest of your Friday. Enjoy your weekend, and I'll take comments and critiques now.